Alright, hello, I'm Jarg, and welcome back to my beginner's guide to Terraria. I've been working on some stuff off camera, and all of a sudden I see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, a goblin army is approaching from the west. So, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing, and, well, yeah, I'm gonna get essentially ready to face off against this goblin army. Now, how this works is that you have a chance of this thing spawning every day. Once your health gets to a certain point, it's somewhere between 120 and 100. And apparently, from what I've read, you also need to break open either a Shadow Orb or one of the Crimson Hearts to get it. So, with all those two things happening, I now got an invasion of the Goblins. So how this works is that it's kind of similar to how a boss fight works in the fact that I have to fight. However, unlike a boss fight, there isn't just one sole enemy that we have to fight and defeat, as much as, well, there's an army. So, if we happen to die, it is not the end of the fight, unlike what happens if we fight a boss. If we happen to die, the army is still going to be around, and the army will not disperse until we've defeated enough of them, which is shown on that bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So, as of right now, I've only killed about one-fifth of all the goblins that I need to get this army to stop. Now, as I said, the army showing up is random. However, if you actually want to try and summon a goblin invasion on your own, over by the corners of the world, doesn't have to be the exact corner, you can just need to be closer to one edge rather than the middle, you have a chance of finding a goblin scout. How they work is that they will appear randomly, and if you defeat them, they can drop you tattered cloth. You combine 10 tattered cloth alongside some pieces of wood, you can make a banner, which in turn can be used to summon the goblin army. Now, there are technically two versions of the Goblin Army. Let's just call them an easy mode and a hard mode. Right now I'm fighting off the easy mode, but once we get to a point where we can get into, quote, hard mode, part of this will be the same, but at the same time, there will be different goblins. And I'm going to say this right now, before we even get anywhere close to the hard mode, you want to fight off a goblin invasion, at least once. Not so much for the whole fighting aspect, but what you can get because of this event happening. So, yeah, here we go, I'm already up to 70%. So, the biggest reward, I guess you could say, for clearing out the goblin invasion, because, well, once the invasion starts, it's not ending until you kill them. I don't even think, like, saving and quitting resets this. But when the army invades and eventually retreats, you can find another goblin out in the world, and I want to say they're found in the underground. They are the Goblin Tinkerer, and I'm going to say they are a very, very useful NPC because, just like other NPCs, no, friendly NPCs, they will actually take up residence in our house, and, well, we can buy stuff from them, sell stuff for them, as well as do some other things that will be explained later on. The most important thing about the Goblin Tinkerer, though, is the item that he sells that allows us to take accessories and combine them with other accessories, assuming that the items are compatible. Alongside the fact that he also sells rocket boots. Sorry about that. Rocket boots are a very useful item because they can be combined with Hermes boots, giving you the speed boost that I got right here, combined with the effect of flight. And there we go. So the main thing these guys just dropped were the spiky balls. Not the most impressive thing in the world, but I mean, I guess if you're gonna try and fight the worm, this might not be a bad item to have. As a matter of fact, I still have that worm bait from before. Just take you out real quick. Because how this works is that you throw them down, and they just lay it down on the floor. They just stay there. But any enemy that walks on top of them will take damage. So, let's just get into the underground. Let me go over a bit. Also, not gonna lie, I really like the sword. I like the upgrade they gave to it. A little upset they didn't give anything to the Blood Patrol, but eh. Blood Patrol is the more powerful of the weapons anyway, so yeah. There we go. Now, these things kind of like... What's the one I'm looking for? Kind of like the... Blah, 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 blah. Shuriken. Well, it can only take so many hits. But I mean... 3 damage. So I guess if you're having trouble fighting the worm, this might be a better way of trying to fight it. Just look at it. It just keeps on trying to get to me. Also, I got myself a little minion when I was out and about in the world. I guess if you look out and about, you might be able to find this. It's called Abigail's Flower, which can give you a little summon creature. So they're very useful. Didn't think I was actually going to find one this soon. Because there is another way of getting a minion, the one I'm usually used to. But alright, there was one of the few things I wanted to show off, was just the Goblin Invasion. The other thing I wanted to show off will be the eventual Blood Moon, so I'll be back. I'll either be back when I'm done with my preparation work, or if I get a Blood Moon. So, until then, I'll see you later. Alright, I'm back, but not for the thing I thought I would be back for. If I hit the Enter key, slime are falling from the sky. So, this is another event that can happen when we have enough health. And there is an event that can happen if we kill enough slimes. So, I'm going to speed this part up. Let's see if we can get the event to happen. It should. I think you need to kill about 100 slimes to get the event to happen. There we go! After having defeated 150 slime, King Slime shall spawn. Now, if we did not kill 150 slime before King Slime appeared, then given 15 real-life minutes, or 15 in-game hours, the slime rain would just stop on its own. So, okay, do I got any... Close thing to range I got is this. Hello, what are you? I didn't realize I had a harpoon, okay. Okay. I mean, King Slime, not the most difficult thing in the world, but kind of more of an annoyance. That being said, he's already halfway dead. Although as we defeat him, he keeps spawning out these bigger blue slimes, as well as the fact he's getting smaller and faster, I want to say. He can also respawn if we had a crown, which I think requires gold or platinum bars alongside rubies. And if you can defeat him, I guess he'll drop more slimes. But he can also drop you. I'm gonna say. Slime stop falling from the sky. What? Hey. Ka-plunk-poo! Guess that's a little slime pet. Okay. He can drop you pieces of... Dang it. The ninja outfit. I also got a slimy... Oh, I thought this was something else. I thought this was a, hard mode item. Now that makes sense. Yeah, he can drop you this little pet, which actually gives you a good amount of jump height. And you can also even jump on top of enemies like Mario, although you still have to deal with fall damage. But yeah, he can drop you pieces of the ninja outfits. So there's a ninja hood, ninja pants, and ninja shirt. Each one increasing critical strike. I'll say that's one of the more annoying ones to get, because you can only get it from fighting King Slime. But as I said, if you want to try and make them, then... Gonna need the gold and gonna need the rubies to make a crown. Well, first off, you'll need the platinum crown. Or gold crown. And then combining that with a bunch of slime. Do I not have enough? Guide. Answer my questions for me. Oh, it needs to be a demon altar. Okay, so 20 slimes and a crown. Give you the slime crown, the summon king slime if you have a wish. On the other hand, in the meanwhile, I'm gonna take this crown with pride. And I guess I'll be back again, potentially. Meh. Alright, hello, I'm Jarg, and I'm back for the third time. Now, I've been waiting for a good long while to see if I can get a blood moon to spawn, and unfortunately for me, I have not. So rather than keep on waiting, I decided I'm just going to be moving on, and part of moving on, you may notice, is that this is different. Yes, in between from the Goblin invasion and the slime rain, I've been working on building up some houses. And the main reason for this was for happiness. Well, not the biggest thing in the world. If you actually talk to the NPCs, we can actually talk about them, ask about their happiness and how they're feeling like that. And for the most part, everyone's going to have their own little differences about what they like. If we go to the bestiary, we can actually find out a better idea of who likes what. So like the merchant, he just likes being above the surface. The arms dealer, he likes being in the desert. Tavern keeper, the holler, which is something we're not going to have for a while. Dye trader, desert. Zoologist, surface. Dryad, jungle, so on and so forth. Okay, why do I care about putting these people, or why do I care about them being happy? Well, if a NPC is happy, the price on their goods should decrease. So for example, I want to say this mini shark, back when I had everybody over in my foresty area, was like 38 gold coins compared to now being at 33. Matter of fact, this is my second recording of this, because I just did not like the first one. Another thing is that if the NPCs are happy in whatever biome they are in, they can give you these. These are called pylons, and as we can see, the game said that this is a desert pylon. With this, we can teleport to another pylon as long as there are 2 villagers nearby. But you can only have 1 of each type, and it must be in the matching biome. So, for example, I put that down, I right-click on it, I can go over to this biome all the way over here, the forest pylon, which I have set up for more characters over here, and it's the same deal. As long as they're happy, they will sell things and give you better prices. However, you will have to deal with these things being a little bit expensive, and, well, also the fact that these have to be in the specific biome. Another thing is that, as the pylon was saying, you need to have 2 people, 2 NPCs living in the biome in order to actually get the thing. Or even if you have the thing, you need to have 2 happy NPCs to actually teleport to it. Which is why you can kind of cheat the system a little bit. If I go all the way out here, we kind of see the angles alone, and unfortunately he doesn't even actually sell me anything. As he has quests, but we're not going to deal with that. One thing we can do is by talking to the zoologist, we can buy licenses for a cat and a dog. So if I tell the cat to live in here, the cat counts as an NPC. Now if I just move somebody else over here temporarily, like just say the merchant, and come back, I can get myself a ocean pylon, so I can just teleport right back here. Of course, I need them to go over there and whatnot, but that's its own kettle of fish. Another thing is that when I was down below, my lifeform analyzer was going off, telling me that there was a bound goblin. This only happens after the goblin invasion happens. You can find this guy, the Goblin Tinkerer, who has a very useful function of Reforge, which for a cost, you can give him any item you got, and for a price, he can reforge it. So, you can get yourself something good or something bad. So, okay, for example, this gun, very expensive to actually upgrade. This mini shark, expensive to upgrade, very expensive. The higher the tier of the object, the more it's going to cost to reforge it. You can do the same thing for accessories. Now, the difference between accessories and items are that items can get some bad debuffs. Like the one called the Light Nightmare Pickaxe has extra speed but less knockback. You can get things like a broken pickaxe, which is just worse overall. Or you can get things like this, the Large, and whatnot. So, if you get something and you're like, oh, I don't like that one, you can go that to him. Or, for example, say you're like this Guarding Obsidian Skull. It's not bad, but I'd rather have +4 defense. Well, by putting it in here and spending this and rolling the odds, you could get it to Warding, which is +4 defense. And actually, you can do that for all of your accessories. So 4, 8, 12, 16, plus 20 defense, just from your accessories, not including whatever armor you got. Or perhaps you don't want that. Perhaps you want the extra mana, so you go for Arcane. Or perhaps you want extra crit chance or something like that. You can try to look for whatever you want to go for whatever build you are looking for. So that's the first good thing about him. The other good thing is that he sells you this, the Tinkerer's Workshop, that allows you to combine some accessories, as well as rocket boots. Rocket boots can combine with things like the Donora boots, how do you pronounce that, or the Flurry boots, no, not Flurry, Hermes boots, to make you Spectre boots, which allow you to not only run fast, but also gives you the ability to fly for a little bit from the hover boots. And you bring the Hermes boots and the hover boots over to the Tinkerer's Workbench to combine them. Now, there are a lot of different things that can combine into different things, so talking to the guide and figuring out what combines into what is not a bad idea. Like this Obsidian Skull, for example, can be combined into a bunch of different things. Some of these can be combined even further. You can tell if it can based around the fact that it says material. Which I think all of these are. No, things like this Obsidian Horseshoe is not a material, meaning that this is as far as this one goes. But shoot. Something like this Obsidian Shield is a material. The skull, material, 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 material. They can be combined further on, rather than just that one item. And that might be something to look up for the wiki. Like, if you are ever that worried about it, look up the wiki. I feel like you have nothing to lose by checking that out. Okay, but as I said, I've been trying to get a Blood Moon for a while, and, well, what happens during a Blood Moon? Well, for the most part, when you get a Blood Moon, you're gonna get enemy spawn rates to increase, as well as the fact that you're gonna get 2 new types of enemies. One of them is, I would say, a replacement to the zombie, and another one is a replacement to the flying eyeballs. Excuse me as I make my way over to the jungle. Now, they might not sound all that important to you, but if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend fighting during a Blood Moon, because the eyeball equivalents have a chance of dropping you an item that essentially gives you access to your piggy bank at any time. All you have to do is just have it on the person, left click, and you get the equivalent of a floating piggy bank just showing up in your world. It is great for, like, pretty much anything when dealing in the overworld, or, like, more precisely the underworld. Or, like, say you're going to be exploring the underground jungle. You want to make sure you have enough room so that you're not just having to leave stuff behind. Or, say you want to do the temple that we haven't actually explored yet. It's a good way. It's just very nice to have the equivalent of a chest available to you whenever you want. However, there's another good thing that happens. Well, let's not say a good thing. There's another thing that happens during a Blood Moon. The NPCs will have a little bit of different dialogue because they usually just sound upset about it. However, some of some of the NPCs will actually sell you some unique items only during a blood moon. For example, the Dryad here. Normally, she will sell us purification powder. Powder that is used to cleanse evil, which means it's a way to stop the corruption or the crimson, if for a little bit. However, during a blood moon, she will give you the vile powder, or whatever the... She'll give you the powder that is used to craft the worm bait or the brain equivalent. Meaning that buying the powder from her during a blood moon is the best way of grinding off of the Destroyer of Worlds or the Brain of Cthulhu. Now, speaking of the Dryad, also, pylons. You can see right here, 8 gold. Expensive. But the ability to teleport anywhere is very useful. Anyways, Dryad has 2 other very useful things in my eye. One are called pumpkin seeds. This might sound dumb, but I do plan on getting these because pumpkin seeds will grow pumpkins. Pumpkins can be turned into pumpkin pie, and pumpkin pie is a food source that will give you buffs to your stats. I will hopefully show that off in the next episode, because I don't feel like waiting around, because I want to get this episode put out sooner rather than later. The other thing that she will sell you are planter boxes. Now this one says Daybloom, Blinkroot, and Deathweed. That doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want in these planter boxes. The only difference is just their design. And speaking of Deathweed, thank you game for reminding me, during a blood moon, that is the only time when the Deathweed, or whatever the Crimson variant, will actually drop seeds. So if you're doing that one, keep your eyes out on that. That's assuming you even want to be, like, going into planting or whatnot. It doesn't hurt. Not a bad idea. I probably will do this later, but as of the current moment, I'm a little bit broke. So yes, I believe that is everything. And I can't currently think of anything else I want to get done. Aww. But yes, I think I'm just going to do taking care of a few things off camera between this episode and next, as well as get these pumpkins planted. I definitely need to check out my, clean up my house. I need to fix up my storage, which I still haven't done yet. But yes, that's what I'm going to be doing off camera, and when I come back, we have a couple of options for us. I would say we have 3 main options. They are, if I go up the map, we can explore the underground jungle, explore the underground, aka some people call it hell, or we can explore the temple. I'm going to start with the underground jungle, then I'm going to go to the temple, and then lastly I'm going to be making my way down to the underworld. So, next episode or 2 is over here, followed by this, and then eventually down here. So, I am Jarg, I'm going to be signing out, hopefully getting this video out tomorrow, hopefully out on Saturday, January 28th, so I apologize for this episode taking so long, I just was having very bad luck. And I guess one thing I could point out before I actually call, leave. If you happen to find a bed and you actually sleep in it, which is the one-hand side that has disease, not the side that lets you set your spawn point, time goes by at 5 times speed. And I've been, like, laying in this bed for a couple of in-game days now to just no luck. Time will just keep moving by fast and faster, as fast as it is right now, 5 times at 5 times speed. Struggling to speak. Although it will stop if something happens, such as a blood moon, or a goblin invasion. And actually, shoot, that reminds me, one last thing. If you happen to get a blood moon and say you just aren't really doing well surviving, beware, zombies can actually break down doors during a blood moon. If you want to prevent that, put a block of any kind, wood, stone, dirt, on one side of the door. The zombies will never be able to break it down. So, that I think is pretty much everything. So, I'm Jarg, signing out, and unless I get the blood moon now, thank you for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day. Until next time, bye-bye.